Hello everyone, this is Brian Bentley at CoinOpTV bringing you gameplay and commentary for Knights of Azure on the PlayStation 4. Knights of Azure is a Japanese role-playing game, although it has so many different elements of different types of games that I think you're going to find interesting. So, right off the bat, you have Arnis, who is the main character there with the dress that I'm fighting as. She is the protagonist of the story. She is a half demon, half human, and her friend Lily. I say Lilise. It's not how it sounds when they're saying it in Japanese. But anyway, that's not the point. Point being, she's trying to protect her friend. There is, several hundred years ago, there was a person called the Night Lord, and he was trying to cover the entire world in darkness, and a one woman led a giant army, and she slayed the Night Lord and imprisoned him. Now, every 10 years, the powers that be, because, quote unquote, that's how we've always done it, they use one woman as the quote unquote the saint, and sacrifice her to keep the seal closed. Arnis, who loves Lily, I'll talk about that in just a second, but she loves Lily very much and does not want that to happen. So, in a somewhat tropical sort of way, she is going to go against the way things have always been done and go to slay the Night Lord in order to save her friend. So now you'll notice that I am playing Arnis, the main character, and I have four people and four little creatures that are going around with me. Now, you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner that each of those creatures is represented by one of the four face buttons on my PS4 controller, my DualShock 4. There is the wolf, the big giant tree guy, the very small fae, and the toy soldier. Now, what I find interesting about these characters is, they each kind of have different roles. The toy soldier's kind of a cross between a tank and a DPS. The giant tree is more of the, straight tank. The wolf is all DPS, and the fae is a healer. Now, I actually have another deck of different ones that I could pull forward if I wanted to, but then those people go away. So you have your main character. Oh, here we go. This is a more special move. And you'll notice I have on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side of my photograph, or my, my profile picture. It looks glowing. Now that means that my form is full, so I can transform into my demon form, or my rabbit form, or my magical form. There's a few different types. Now I'm about to get into a boss battle, I'm just letting you know in advance, but I'm trying to get through some of the intro stuff. So, Arnis is trying to save Lilius, and the Black Cat is actually working for somebody else, but I don't want to go into too much more into the story. So yes, something interesting. Every time I talk to people that are seeing this game, or when I've been streaming, they've been asking me, these characters seem a bit sexualized, and it's funny because in terms of the actual character design, they're very Japanese in origin. And you can tell that they, especially Lilise and Arnis are both well endowed. And so the character designs are sort of in that vein, but the way they're written is not that way. The male characters almost want them to be that way, but then the characters themselves are not. In fact, the love between Arnis and Lilith is one of friendship, but beyond that, and not in a you know, sexualized or any type of manner in that regard. It's actually a very, very sweet love. And I give the authors a lot of credit for not going down a path that would be unnecessary for this game. So now we are going to fight this boss. This is the third boss, the Blue Blood Count Rosier. He's a giant toy. And there will actually be a point. So right now I'm currently using the daggers to slash him. But the daggers are great in terms of large groups. And since I'm not in a large group, I'm realizing this, and I will have to switch back to my sword. I am switching into my rabbit form. Now the rabbit form, so I'm using that bar. The rabbit is great. Would be great if there were multiple enemies. So I mean, she's not particularly good in this one-on-one setting. I prefer either the demon form or the magical form. They have more of a short burst and area of effect versus the rabbit, who is like all over the place. Would be good through multiple enemies where you're kind of going through one and the other. Now I will say, so you can notice that you see burst. Each of the familiars, or they're called here servons, that each of them have a special burst mode that they can do. And so I am not, they're continuing to, to do that. Now I've switched over to the sword, and after this I received a gun mode, which actually ends up using my SP. Now, he's about to unload a huge thing on me where I pull it out with like 3 health left. So I'm pretty impressed by that. But overall, I'm enjoying the game. I mean, like I said, there are a bunch of tropes in the game itself, but that does not take away from the fact that it can be fun. Now, the actual combat itself can be a little tiring at times. I'm not going to lie about that. So so there's a lot of, Dynasty Warriors-esque pieces to it. So there is quite a bit of square, 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 triangle, square, 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 triangle. I do try to mix it up just to keep things interesting for myself. Oh, I forgot I went back to the rabbit form again. That's interesting. Before he grabs me, and I swear it's this battle that he grabs me and then does the symbols all over me, like where he just smashes me in them. But that's okay. So that part I'm not totally in love with some of the combat aspects of it, but I do love the idea of having these familiars and being able to, draw them into the battle and be able to use them for different things. Oh, here he goes. So he slashes me and then picks me up in the air and I get smashed by symbols. Bang. Now look at my health bar. 3 of 290. Whew. That was close. So we're going to wrap things up soon. I'm about to get him down. So just some final thoughts. I'm really enjoying the game. I love the familiars. You're able to build them up. They gain levels. There of course are collections. If I do have any complaints, it's that the side quests don't really feel like they have any bearing on the game whatsoever. In fact, I almost forget about them half the time. So, but otherwise, I'm enjoying the game, and you should check it out. I'm going to have my full review up shortly. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.